There are three main directives which cover the broad sector of medical devices. These directives are from the 19th, and except for some amendments, they remain very stable. Their main objective is to maintain a high level of health protection in a well-functioning internal market. The two aspects are linked, as the proper functioning of the internal market implies that the medical devices circulate without restrictions, but also that they ensure a high level of health protection, which means that only the safe medical devices circulate.
That we have to act is very evident. You know, in Germany yesterday, a court case started. A woman that has been suffering from this defect breast implants by the company PIP went to court in Germany and wants to sue somebody. But the first assessment of the judge is that there is nobody really they can sue. And that is an indication for me that the existing legislation is really weak.
I think it is very important to emphasize, as you and Peter have both done, that PIP is in fact a crime. It's a fraud. And one cannot foresee and one cannot write a legislation that it goes that can prevent any kind of fraud, but we can try to control it.
The key requirement for approval of new drugs in Europe is clinical efficacy. We only allow onto the market drugs that have been through formal clinical trials and have been proven to work and to produce a better endpoint, a better clinical outcome. Whereas with devices, there has been a traditional difference, which I think is maintained in the recast, which is that the manufacturer, through the approval process with the notified bodies, needs to demonstrate satisfactory performance.
We strongly support that the current system can and should be improved, just as an initial statement. Everybody in this room is fully aware of this unfortunate PIP scandal. I think we've talked a lot about it in the last 60 minutes. And I want to be very clear about it, as it has been said. This is a fraud. This was totally illegal. However, we also have to consider that it harmed patients and it also harmed industry. And we want to make sure that whatever system is being designed or proposed will prevent this to happen again.
The PIP case was a fraud, and no legislation would have helped to prevent it or avoid it. And while I don't think that it's not just a coincidence that the PIP breast implants never reached the US market, I wanted you to listen to the story of Emilia, just to stress that medical devices make heartbeats and allow people to walk, but if they don't work properly, they can disrupt people's life. And we have to bear this in mind, and I hope that decision makers will bear this in mind while revising the legislation.
Is the new legislation sufficient to protect patients? And the answer is, for me, it is yes. Click on. We welcome entirely the aim of the new proposal to make medical devices in Europe safer, and we support in principle the planned changes to the legislation. The following essential new arrangements are aligned with our reform proposals, what we prepared before. We like the stronger focus on products during the conformity assessment procedures. We need to focus more on products, less on quality system. And this is something that we call hands on the product. Notified bodies need to have more focus on the product itself.
We all agree there that the new proposed legislation will bring improvements to the system as it stands. But we may disagree on some aspects of that. I think in particular, we all agree on the importance of patient safety. This is the #1 priority for everyone. The areas that need to be tightened up, which are indeed there already in the regulation, are to do with the way the notified bodies function and the way they are controlled by national authorities, and increasing transparency, including information to patients and clinicians, as Dr. Fraser mentioned, and also traceability.